He just read out the list.
Okay, sir. TMC and Aam Aadmi Party, you tried to reach out to them, but
TMC,
they
he's talking to them in a conference, in an online conference. After that is over, she'll get in touch with him. She's on board with the unanimous decision. They've already conveyed to him that whatever you people decide unanimously, they will support.
How many parties in all, sir? In all, sir, total number of parties, sir?
16.
16
without TMC and AAP, sir.
17.
17 without TMC.
17.
TMC and
Up. 17.
excluding TMC and AAP.
Then half and TMC will be
Then it will be 19.
17 plus 2.
Yes,
Yeah, JMM is there.
he read out.
JMM is there.
DMK is included.
DMK
is included.
Yes, DMK.
शिव सेना ने राष्ट्रपति चुनाव में अलग भूमिका ली है।
ये शिवसेना से पूछिए ना।
बैठक में है तो क्या आखिर तक
बहुत से पार्टी ने लिया था, जेएमएम ने लिया था और हमारे साथ है। ये चुनाव में हम एक साथ हैं।
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Was of course NCP chief Sharad Pawar there addressing a press conference and announcing that the joint opposition's candidate for the vice president elections will be senior former Congress leader Margaret Alva. Margaret Alva will be taking on Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankhar, who has been named the NDA's vice president candidate yesterday by BJP chief JP Nadda over there. The opposition saying that there are at least 16 different parties that are on board with the announcement that has just been made by Sharad Pawar. The TMC and the AAP will also be included in that, and the number will go up. They have, of course, communicated, they say, with the TMC and the Aam Aadmi Party as well, seeking their support for Margaret Alva's candidature. So it is going to be Margaret Alva versus Jagdeep Dhankhar for the vice president elections that are to happen on the 6th of August. Remember that the last date for nominations, the filing of nominations for the elections is the 19th of July. And before that now, the two sides have now announced that their candidates will be the NDA's candidate Jagdeep Dhankhar, and the joint opposition's candidate for the vice president elections will be Margaret Alva. Margaret Alva, of course, has had a long political career. She has been a member of the Congress Party. She has been a minister as well previously, and she has, of course, performed the role of governor in states like Gujarat, Rajasthan and Goa as well, where she demitted office in 2014. Supriya Bhardwaj is now joining us on the phone line. Supriya, how many opposition parties are on board with this announcement which has just been made by the NCP chief?
We are hearing from sources following me that around 12 to 13 parties are on board at the moment, and mainly the other opposition parties, whether it's TMC or Aam Aadmi Party, the opposition leaders are saying they will try to as the source is concerned, certainly Congress has already made it clear that no one associated with their party would be the candidate. But now, when name came out, we know as to it is the Congress's candidate because Margaret Alva has a long one of the tallest leaders who come from Karnataka, and also at the same time, what we are hearing from the sources is that the entire opposition got together in a huddle at Sharad Pawar's residence around 3 p.m. and then after a long deliberation, they have come up with this name. Now it is going to be really interesting as far as the Rajya Sabha is concerned to see governor versus governor, because we know the NDA candidate is also governor of West Bengal, whereas Alva was governor of Rajasthan as well as Gujarat in the past. So it's going to be an interesting contest. Yes, so far the numbers are on the NDA side, but the UPA is saying that they will reach out to other like-minded parties also, including TMC and Aam Aadmi Party.
That's right. And as far as Margaret Alva, what can you tell us about her and her political career? She's, of course, had a very long journey in politics. Like his last said, of course, she demitted office finally as governor of Goa in the year 2014. That was the final post that she held. But clearly, she has had a very long career in politics.
Well, certainly, yes, follow me. Margaret Alva comes from Karnataka, is one of the tallest leaders of the Congress Party. When it comes to holding a very key position in the organization, she has been at the forefront of being the General Secretary in charge of very, very crucial states also. Then in between, she had left the party, again came back, is what the sources are informing us at the moment, is that her 3 sons, 2 being there as part of the party and 3rd being out of the party is what we are hearing. What we can also tell you is that her family is not new. She also has a very long time.
That is, of course, Margaret Alva there on your screens right now. She has now been named as the Vice President candidate of the opposition. Supriya, it is going to be very interesting because of, the president elections are to happen, of course, tomorrow. And we do know that because of the numbers, the government and Draupadi Murmu have an absolute edge over the opposition's candidate, Yashwant Sinha, as far as the presidential elections go. But this is going to be a very interesting battle between, of course, Jagdeep Dhankhar and Margaret Alva. Despite the numbers, it's going to be interesting how the opposition, of course, gets and garners the numbers in favor of Margaret Alva, though Jagdeep Dhankhar already has got the support of parties like the YSRCP. Okay, we'll try and reconnect with my colleague Supriya Bhardwaj, of course, bringing us all of those details as far as the opposition now announcing that 80-year-old Margaret Alva will be their candidate, their joint candidate for the vice president elections that are to happen on the 6th of August. Remember, only yesterday, the BJP chief, Mr. JP Nadda, announced that the NDA's candidate for the vice president elections will be Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankhar. Jagdeep Dhankhar also has had a long political career. He was in fact described as Kisan Putra by JP Nadda as he made that announcement. Now, the joint opposition, of course, saying that Margaret Alva will be their candidate going into these elections, these very crucial elections for the second highest office in the country, the Vice President of India, which is to happen on the 6th of August, the last date for nominations being the 19th of July. Margaret Alva, of course, has been in politics for a very, very long time. She, in fact, has been a cabinet minister since the 1970s when she entered parliament. In fact, she became a minister in the year 1984, the first time when she became a minister of state parliamentary affairs. Listen into
conference, video conference. As soon as the
it is what she has conveyed to Mr. Pawar and other leaders. She is right now in a video conference, some meeting, and she is not able to talk to us, and they also could not contact her. But in all probabilities, TMC is on board with other opposition parties. And Aam Aadmi Party conveyed, they announced their support to Mr. Yashwant Sinha at the later stage. In the same way, they will announce support. All other parties are here.
So that is, of course, what the opposition has to say about the TMC and the AAP, whether they will in fact support Margaret Alva in this election. They, of course, say that Ms. Mamata Banerjee had a conversation with Mr. Sharad Pawar, but she was in a video conference. She was busy with a meeting, so she is yet to convey officially her support, but they do believe that they have the TMC's support as far as Margaret Alva's candidature is concerned. And as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, again, they're hopeful that AAP will extend its support for Margaret Alva's candidature as well. Remember, AAP did not attend the opposition meetings that were held earlier for the president elections for, of course, naming their nominee at that point of time when the opposition met on a couple of occasions. AAP was not present at those meetings. AAP, of course, then only at the latter stage now has extended its support for Yashwant Sinha's candidature for the president elections that are to happen tomorrow. So AAP will, of course, convey their decision as well shortly. But the opposition over there, of course, you heard from the left parties, you heard from the NCP chief as well. They're hopeful that both the TMC and the Aam Aadmi Party will come on board and extend their support for Margaret Alva's candidature for the vice president elections. Listen in to NCP chief Sharad Pawar.
देश के उपराष्ट्रपति के चुनाव के लिए हम सब के तरफ हमने एक कैंडिडेट अनाउंस करने का तय किया। कैंडिडेट आप जानते हैं, श्रीमती मार्गारेट अल्वा। Margaret Alva. She was a minister in government of India. She was a Rajya Sabha member for many years. She was a governor also, and she was a person who got a vast experience in administration and in parliamentary affairs. And that's why we discussed few names, and ultimately we unanimously approved the name of the Srimati Margaret Alva.
That is, of course, the NCP chief there announcing that Margaret Alva will be the joint opposition's candidate to face off with Jagdeep Dhankhar in the vice president elections that are to happen on the 6th of August. Only yesterday, the BJP chief, Mr. JP Nadda, announced after the BJP's parliamentary board meeting that Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankhar will in fact be the NDA's candidate for the vice president elections. And now the opposition there, led by NCP chief Sharad Pawar, announcing that Margaret Alva will be the joint opposition's candidate for the vice president elections. He, of course, says that he is hopeful that the TMC and the Aam Aadmi Party will come on board, in fact, with the name which has been announced by the opposition there, led by Sharad Pawar. Remember, earlier it was the TMC chief, Ms. Mamata Banerjee, who had announced, in fact, of course, flanked by Sharad Pawar as well, that Yashwant Sinha, who was a member of the TMC, was National Vice President, would in fact be the joint opposition's candidate for the president election. So it was the TMC's choice, and now Sharad Pawar hopes that the TMC will come on board with the choice which has now been announced by the joint opposition, by him and the left, that Margaret Alva will face off with Jagdeep Dhankhar for the vice president elections.